to feel free. We want to
You're going to
bring
put
them.
them in the future. You realize that. Not
I'll
everybody
tell
can
you.
do what I did. And I was shocked myself. I mean, I know how to, work outside your body and travel the cosmos, but this is an anchor point, your place in Bosnia. Ahmad could tell you, I don't know how, but he was there. But how can people do that? Is that where we are now? Are we going to teach interdimensional where we don't need fossil fuels anymore? We just travel with consciousness and come back to our bodies? Is this some of the old ancient mystery schools? Because I feel like you're doing in reality what I've got right here in a book that I hand wrote. Everything you just described about the park and everything, I channeled that for myself back in the 80s. And it's amazing to me that you're doing it. Now, the other thing is we had spaceports where the spacecraft could take off, like the pyramids. Some of them were landing ports. But you've got the oldest bus stop. And we would say the Orion Belt was the bus stop. And then I've got 5 stars for the 5 pyramids. And we wore that on our uniforms. And I've put that out there. It's out there before we even talked. But I didn't know it all meant the same thing. But I do see that now. So what is that called? I have clear insight sometimes, but it just materializes. So manifesting. And I get real excited, Dr. Sam, because you are the walking, talking, you said I couldn't use ambassador, but that's what you are, because in America we're allowed to say goodwill ambassadors, and you come from Houston. And Houston gave me that title as a goodwill ambassador May 10th, 1967, to work with ACIR. And I had no idea I was going to meet you, but I didn't know I was going to meet Wayne Dyer or Zig Ziglar either, but they're big people. I guess they're past. I don't know if Zig has, but I know that Wayne Dyer did. But you're one of those kind of people that I look for on the planet. You have magical gifts with your energy, and you're teaching people, not charging them. So how is this going to work for all our associations? We're community building around the world globally. So what do we call you?
Okay, goodwill ambassador is fine. Now, Teresa, what you experience is you were using one of your spiritual senses. You were achieving astral projections. Now, when it comes to the spirituality, there's a lot of confusion. People don't know what this term is used for. When I went to school decades ago, they were teaching us spirituality equals religious. Spirituality has nothing to do with the religions. Spirituality is advancement of our spiritual senses. We use spirituality so we can sense the world beyond our physical reality. Our physical reality we learn through our 5 physical senses. We can see, we can hear, we can touch, we can smell, we can taste. These are 5 physical senses. But there is much more than that. For example, what we can hear is on the scale from 10 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Below 10 hertz, there is a whole new universe of sound called infrasound. Above 20 kilohertz, it's many more sounds that are called ultrasound. We cannot hear them. We can measure them though. So imagine that we can hear more than our physical sense. We could hear so many different tones, so many different sounds. The same thing goes for our eyesight. Imagine that we can see much more, than what we could see the world filled with spiritual entities, with ghosts, with all kinds of different beings and so on. Well, if we start developing our spiritual senses, we should be able to see and do much more. The first 5 spiritual senses are counterparts with our physical senses. But then we have 25 spiritual senses more. One of them is, for example, we can feel other people's energies. We can
Yes.
feel other people's auric field. And
And
then,
be overwhelmed. Be
yes,
overwhelmed
and
where your
then,
nervous system shakes like a bell.
exactly. And then with the training, we can start seeing other people's energy fields. We can start seeing the colors in other people's auric fields. We can
I
start
did that when I was
seeing,
young. I lost that,
there you go,
doctor. My eyes changed, and I know you're
there you
supposed to
go,
see them with your soul, but I can't
there
see
you
my
go.
auras anymore.
Yes, we can see other people's chakras and how open they are. And then what we can do, we can exchange thoughts. So telepathy is the spiritual sense as well. We can move objects with power of our mind. Telekinesis is
Yes.
the spiritual sense as well. We can move our soul out of our physical body in controllable way. Astral projection is one of our spiritual senses as well. And finally, we can move through space and time. Teleportation is also
Yes.
our ability to.
And these ETs do that, don't they? That's what I learned from the Bosnian pyramids, because who else would teach me except in my dreams? And but then I was conscious, so I'm trying to put together the feelings with the words, just like the old times. We don't have the words today that they tried to teach all this. So you're coming back and helping everybody know what has been lost. And I know it, but I don't know how to say it, even though I've studied ancient mystery schools and the Ascension Age, right? I know
Right.
how to say it in the old language, in English, but you're getting, so you understand the 32 mystery schools. You said 25 plus, 7 chakras or something, right?
Yes, yes. So what we have, let me finish with the teleportation because that's the most important one.
Yeah.
In order to develop teleportation abilities, and we all have those seeds, Teresa. In order to develop it, there are two prerequisite items. One, technique, and we can master the technique. And the other one is energy field strong enough. And guess what? In the ancient times, when the original and the biggest and the most superior pyramids were built, they were producing very strong energy fields. And the strongest fields were during the time when our planet was the strongest. When is that? The summer solstice, June 21st. And the alternate dates, equinox, spring equinox in March, fall equinox in September. And that's
Yeah.
the reason why the ancient people celebrated those days, because our mother planet was healthiest and they could use their most advanced spiritual senses. So imagine,
We also
Teresa, that
plant,
you,
don't we? We
yes,
plant our
imagine that,
seeds and we harvest. And spring is plant and fall is harvest that go with that energy, right? Born and everything has a season. So back to you. I'm sorry.
yes. So
Thinking out loud.
imagine that you and I can use that ability to travel through space and time. Number one,
Oh,
we would realize that we are forever. Our physical bodies are for one use only, but our souls, they are almost forever. So there is no need to fear anything. We don't fear physical death. We don't fear losing the job. We don't fear losing our savings account, our homes, our cars. We are free. We don't fear elites. We don't fear our bosses in the corporate world, media world, politics, religions. We don't fear anything. We become free people. Once we are free, the organization we have today will collapse. What is the social organization today? Well, we have elites, less than 1% of people who owns more than 90% of the resources of our planet, and 99% of the people struggle in daily life. So the story about the pyramids, as you can see after 2 hours, is not a story about another archaeological discovery. It is a story about our present and even more about our future. The pyramid energy will give us free energy. With the free energy, everything all will collapse. No more oil and gas industry, coal industry, nuclear power plants. Energy lobbies are not there no more. Automobile industry as we know it, petrochemical, chemical, and so on. Free energy will free us. And the second pillar of that future society is free flow of knowledge. Free energy, free knowledge, and with those two pillars, we will have the base for the free women and free men. Amen.
We have the free people. Amen. We have the Free People of the Cosmos organization I've been asked to work with. So we'll put your organization with many others in association with consciousness and space exploration to free people of the cosmos with like-minded individuals that want to socialize. And it's amazing that you're doing this work. But so your country, you're born in Bosnia or America or both?
Well, at that time it was Yugoslavia. Now it is Bosnia, yes.
So you were born there, but how did you become... You can live in Houston as...
Well, I moved to Houston almost 30 years back. But then when I discovered the Bosnian pyramids, I moved back to Sarajevo because it's a huge project, so important for humanity. If people want to learn more about how to become volunteer, how to come to Bosnia, where to sleep, what to see, our official website, bosnianpyramid.org. bosnianpyramid.org. They can come, visit us, they will enjoy. And for many people who came, it was life-changing experience.
I believe that, and just changed my life. Just I don't really want to. Well, I'll just tell you, I watched it on TV, but when my physical body being a precog and a bilocator human, I have to stay very separate from most people. I'm a hermit, but I just watched it on my big TV, and I got sick at my stomach because I had that memory of space travel, and sometimes the places like Bosnia. Now, this is just coming from my old soul. Was that the reason we went from one Stargate to another? Was to actually travel the cosmos and space. But when I just want you to know that it brings up memories, and some DNA maybe or RNA, I don't know, but it just brings up memories of being able to do that. So while I'm in a human form, people healing their bodies while they're here so they can learn. But this is the next chapter, I believe, for humanity is space travel and also dimensional. I don't know how we're going to teach that, but I know that you're chosen to help, Dr. Sam. So thank you so much. We're into this recording. Ahmad, do you want to say good night and ask him back? Allied Command Stargates is what we're hoping to share. Ahmad, are you still there?
I'm here. I ain't gone anywhere.
Well,
I enjoyed the show. It's very informative, and he's welcome back anytime.
Dr. Sam, would love to have you come back, and maybe you can teach us the next chapter or the next session. Maybe we can do live, and you can teach us, too, more about Stargates and space travel, and Bosnia being one of the oldest. I feel that the 5 stars and the ETs that, I don't know how you'd say it on the other side, maybe, they give us knowledge. I don't know how we would share it other than to just find a language between Bosnia and Houston or the USA, if that's okay. We'll go to your books, folks. Books